You are listening to Hawks Live, presented by the Dining District at the Bellevue Collection. I'm Michael Bumpus with Paul Moyer, and now we are joined by the tight end, 8'8", AJ Barnum. And AJ, how you doing, man?
Good. Appreciate you guys having me on here.
Man, thanks for taking your time. It's always, we always appreciate it because it's a Thursday. You got practice today. You got a lot of stuff going on. Paul and I used to play, so we understand, like, time is money, so we appreciate you coming out here, man.
Yes, sir.
You had your first experience in the league. Like, you played in some big games, man.
Yeah.
You played at Indiana, played at Michigan. You're used to the crowd and all the noise and stuff, man. What was your first experience like?
I feel like that helped, like, playing at Michigan and playing in the Big Ten, just being in the national championship. I felt like that helped a lot. And then also the preseason games, too, you know, playing in 3 of those. But, you know, it's different. Just the competition's different. But I felt comfortable out there, and I think, you know, it's just another challenge this week, too. So I was just trying to get better every week.
We just had Jake Bobo call in, and, you know, he was the guy who was at Duke and UCLA, and then he comes here, and it's his 4th head coach, 4th offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Now it's kind of becoming the norm. You know, you were at Indiana, you go to Michigan. You know, talk about that. You end up at Indiana. I kind of understand why you go to Michigan, but just tell us how that all went about.
So, I mean, I was at Indiana for 3 years, and just felt like, you know, I played with 2 different offensive coordinators, and then going into my senior year, I felt like, you know, as an athlete, you know, you only have, you know, what your eligibility is. So the transfer portal, entered into there, ended up going to Michigan. I mean, I feel like you mentioned with Bobo, with the 4 different coaches, for me, like, coming to Seattle was a blessing because I was at Indiana, made connections with, you know, the coaches there who ended up going to Washington and with Grubb, and then ended up going to Michigan, and then I come here and Coach Mike McDonald's at Michigan. So I think just having, like, both those things together is, I don't know if there's any other organization in the league that, you know, that would have happened for me, so.
When did you make the transition to tight end? Because tight ends are interesting. You were either like a tight end who moved to tackle, or like a linebacker or receiver who grew and they moved you to tight end.
That's what it was. I was a linebacker, so I was a linebacker for most of my life. Played quarterback too. Wasn't very good at quarterback at all. But then at, like, my junior year, that's when I switched to tight end, but also played linebacker. At my high school, mostly everyone played both ways. Yeah. So.
Well, and a good linebacker, too. You're Northeast Ohio. I'm reading your Wikipedia page here. Defensive Player of the Year. Did you want to stay at linebacker, or was this just
I mean, part of me did for sure, but I just felt like with my size, being 6'6", like, and I'm not the fastest guy in the world, like, I feel like, you know, you just know your mold for, like, what a linebacker is and what a tight end is. So the transition was good, but I think, like, I have a wrestling background too. I wrestled for a long time in my life. Cool. So just the defensive side of the ball, I feel like, and wrestling has helped me become a tight end.
Not the fastest, but I watched the film and you're smooth, man.
Yeah.
And you have soft hands.
For sure.
Were you a baseball player? Were you a hooper?
I played baseball. I mean, I played really all the sports, like, but I played baseball, I played rec basketball. But yeah, I do think that part of my game, like, I might not be the fastest straight line, but I do feel like I find zone coverages very well. And then, like you said, smooth, like, I'm going to get open. Yep. I feel like you said, soft hands. So, yes, sir.
Watched a bunch of you at Michigan, and then this last game, and you definitely have I don't want to say it's a nasty streak. Sometimes it means like you're dirty. You're not. You're relentless at getting in somebody's face, staying on them.
Yeah.
Where's that come from? Is it brothers?
Really, I just play hard, and I mean, playing at Michigan too, and like, and also just being in my first game and just having that opportunity, you know, like, you want to, like, they should have no reason, like, to take you out kind of type thing. So, and honestly too, the crowd noise, like, you can't even hear a whistle. So for me, it's like, play whistle, whistle. That's what I was doing. And if it rubs somebody the wrong way, then so be it. But, like, I'm not going to get embarrassed by it. You know what I'm saying?
So I got to ask about the crowd noise. We're pretty proud up here, the 12s, and what Lumen Field can do. Look, you pack over 100,000 in Michigan.
Yeah.
You want to compare that noise?
I mean, I've played in Michigan in the game, and then obviously this was week 1, and it was probably just as loud. So I'm sure, like, for a big game, it'll be even louder. But, you know, Michigan, the stadium's built out. So it's like, and then Lumen, you have that overhang. So I think it makes it that much louder. But it was definitely really loud in there, for sure. Probably the loudest stadium I've been in.
I had the opportunity to meet your mom and dad.
Okay.
It was during training camp. and I just making connections and talking to him. And your dad seems like just intense, but also welcoming at the same time.
Yeah.
Man, what was it like with your dad, man? Because I wanted to talk to him for an hour if I could, but I had to get back to work. And I was like, all right, I always try to look at the parents and then make the connection with their kids.
Yeah.
What do you think you got from your dad?
Yeah, definitely that intensity, but just being respectful. I grew up with 3 sisters, so like just defending your sisters and everything like that. So I think my parents are great. My mom's the GOAT. That's what I said at the one thing.
Yep.
She always takes care of me, whatever I need. But yeah, I can't stress enough how much they've done for me, and just great people.
Were they athletes too?
My dad was. My mom was too. Not in college, but like my mom's a good athlete. When I was growing up, if my dad couldn't, she'd throw me the ball around in the yard. So,
nice.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
I got a twin sister, an older sister. They used to beat me up, and they kind of, honestly, I competed with them athletically all the time. You got 3 sisters, right? Mm-hmm. What was that like growing up?
I mean, like I said, you just gotta make sure that you're, defending your sisters, I guess, and just I feel like in the car, I said it recently, like you're watching more so girl movies than a boy movie. Like, and you just gotta deal with it.
Rom-coms all day.
Yeah. But for sure.
So your first game, I'm not big enough to be a tight end, believe it or not, AJ. I played on the outside, and that's such a different game. And as a tight end, you get moved to the outside, you get moved to the inside, you're attached to the line of scrimmage, you're blocking linebackers. Sometimes you got safeties. What is it about a tight end that allows you to be just so versatile, man? Like, is that something that you've had to learn, or you think that's something that you kind of had in you because of all the sports that you played as well?
I think that's what I love about the position and just the game of football, that you really have to reinvent yourself every Sunday. And like you said, being versatile, being able to pass protect, being able to run block, being able to play on special teams, catch the ball is what really makes tight end fun. And that's just something that I love to do and love to get better at. So, yeah.
We're visiting with A.J. Barner, our tight end for the Seahawks, and you came from Jim Harbaugh, pretty good pass in the running game, really good coach. I would even say a good technician. What do they teach at Michigan or here in Seattle that might be different that you could compare?
That might be different?
And just blocking. Is it technique? Is it maybe style?
I think, first of all, like in college, especially in spring ball, like you just hit way more. Like fall camp obviously here is like, tough. But in college, like at Michigan, like inside run drill every day. We'd have beat Ohio drill, like 9-on-7. So I think that, and just like the tenacity of it, and just the run schemes that we ran too. I feel like the coaches put us in a good position to succeed. Always had us prepared. And that's just what we take pride in there.
What's it like being a pro, man? Because at Michigan, you're a student athlete.
Yeah.
You got to show up, do your lab, make sure your homework's good. Is it a relief? And this is something my guy Paul usually asks these guys. We've been doing this for 5-6 years now.
7, 8.
And the transition has to be crazy. I remember when I made the transition, I got to wake up and just do football. Like, what was that like for you?
It's been a lot of fun, and just trying to take advantage of it, and then also too just like pick the vet's mind. Like I'm lucky enough to have Lockett as my locker right next to me. Nice. Somebody that played in the league for that long. Ask him what he's doing outside the facility to take care of his body, what he's doing inside the facility to prepare. And like you said, you have more time than when you were a student athlete. So just making sure that I'm using it wisely and asking the vets to help advise me on that.
Yep.
When you were at Michigan, do you have all the resources the Seahawks have? I mean, it is sports science, nutrition, your own shakes. Come over here, AJ. Okay, well, this is how you recover. When you guys come off the field, each one of you have your name when you come off the field, what to drink.
I would honestly say just as much. Like it's almost in that regards the same. They have food there for you pretty much all the time and whatnot. So I would say but honestly the college facilities too, just based on recruiting. I think they always kind of are better than the NFL facilities, but they have everything you need in both spots for sure.
When I was coming up, Twitter was just getting popping when I was in the league. You guys are a different breed now. Like you grew up with social media and guys and just people watching you at all times. How aware are you of that, and how does the NFL or the Seahawks kind of help you work through that?
I would say pretty aware. Like I don't have Twitter on my phone, to be honest. And then
Good
I have
for
like,
you.
yeah, and I have like limits on my apps. But obviously you can use social media too to like as a business platform and to promote yourself and whatnot. So it's definitely a balance too, because you can't drink the Kool-Aid. You can't, you know what I'm saying? Like when you have a good game, you can't just be all focused on like what I did and whatnot, because you got another one coming up. So I try to stay off it, honestly, as much as I can, but also to, use it to connect with even my friends, stay in touch with those people. So, like you said, I'm from Ohio. Some of my people keep up with me back home based on social media. So it's definitely a balance.
All right, parents and kids, listen. Did you hear that? He puts limits on social media. We need that. All right, you've been out here in Seattle. You came from Ohio, Indiana, Michigan. What do you like to do away from football, and have you been able to do that up here?
Honestly, just really I like to take care of my body, make sure I'm staying on top of my stuff. I went down to LA in the off season, was working out down there, and just get outside, do stuff, and then also just relax, hang with family. I keep it simple, man. Get to bed at a good time. Yeah. Play ball.
It's football, baby.
Yeah, especially this time of year too. And going, honestly, your rookie year too. Like you play in the national championship, you get ready for the combine. You come here for OTAs, you get a little break, and then you're right back to it. So that's what it's been recently. Yeah, but I plan on keeping it.
Well, I said people don't realize, you've already played 3 preseason games, regular season game. You're already almost halfway through your college season, and you're just through your first regular season.
Here,
so taking care of your body,
for sure,
getting relaxed, man. It's easy to get pulled. The 12s are crazy out here. You're gonna find that out. They're gonna love you. So
yes, sir.
It's a lot of fun.
Well, you just wait a couple months, man. It's gonna get dark at 4:30. You'll knock out real quick. Here,
exactly.
Man. Hey, give it up one more time for tight end A.J. Barner.